All right, I've got some news stories. Obviously, over the weekend, we had the Supreme Court strike down Trump's tariffs. So when that happened, there was a large reaction that occurred where obviously he responded with a 10% global tariff. And then on Saturday, he got somebody said he woke up angry and increased those tariffs to 15%. So there's a whole legal thing. I did a whole breakdown on this on my channel of like the different laws that can be used to implement tariffs. Only one of them got struck down, right? And so in that, the Trump administration has been finding the other ways that they can continue to implement new tariffs. And in fact, a lot of the tariffs that they already had in place are still in place, especially the ones around like raw materials and things of that nature. So death blow to his ego, maybe the Trump administration's ego, but not to their economic plan per se. So I just wanted to talk on that really quickly. We had some news today come out about Coinbase. They have actually, I think, officially launched stock trading for all US users for 24/5 access. So it's now official. You can get wrecked 24/5.
That's awesome. Did we include the Robinhood announcement in the news?
No, what happened with Robinhood?
So I
Oh,
sent they're adding in a new feature which essentially allows people to get access to more early stage stuff. Is that my understanding?
yes. So I can play that video real quick. I found
Cool.
it from you. Okay, so Vlad Tenev, CEO of Coinbase.
I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear me. That's a weird reality. I'm going to make sure that it allows me to share audio. Can you hear it now?
No.
Hmm.
That's okay. I'll try to play it.
Okay.
My stuff just always gets screwed up, but I will try my best. Okay, we got it up. Let's open it in a new tab. Okay, I will try to share my screen. Let's see if we can do this. This is why we need a producer, guys, is because this would be a lot more smooth. Share screen. Here it is. Okay. Can you see my screen?
I can see it.
Hopefully you can hear it. Can y'all hear it? I'm trying to share my screen. Goal drop. If we can do this. This is why we need a producer, guys. Yeah, you hear me. See, this is the... I'm trying to make sure the stream's working, so I have that playing. I got to mute that. Okay, now let's try this. Appreciate all of your patience. Okay, now let's try. You might only be able to hear it from this.
Robinhood Ventures. It's not just to open the doors to private investing, but to blow them completely off the hinges so that no one can close them ever again. And you know they'll try to. We're going to start this revolution by offering retail investors exposure to what we believe are some of the most exciting private companies operating today.
So Vlad, I noticed you said retail investors, not accredited investors.
I sure did. Let's get right into that. So when people are invited into a venture fund, there's usually an accredited investor requirement. This is something like minimum net worth or household income. Not a huge problem for that inner circle of wealthy insiders that just keep getting wealthier, but roughly 80% of Americans today don't qualify. Then there's a minimum investment amount, which usually ranges from $10,000 to upwards of millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's frustrating to say the least.
There's no liquidity. So your funds are locked up until there's an exit event, which can take years or even...
They sound like bots, bro. Like this is, they need to get a better copywriter.
over a decade. A big problem if you need access to your money in under 10 years. Finally, there's usually a carry fee, where fund managers pay themselves 20 or even 30% of your profits.
Yeah, I hate that one.
With Robinhood,
I hate that one. Don't really resonate with that.
He literally sounds like ChatGPT trying to contribute to the podcast, like
Totally.
the podcast, AI podcast.
100%. We'll let them wrap up and then we'll talk about it.
Ventures Fund 1, we're getting rid of all of that. Literally all of it. So not only are you getting access to what wealthy and institutional investors are typically offered, you're getting what I would say is a better deal than most of them can probably get.
Wow. So that's Robinhood. And then here comes the disclaimer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, my initial thing is like, I'm not understanding, I guess, either the legal structure of how it works or what makes it different than any other publicly traded fund.
I didn't look into it enough to answer those questions for you, Keith. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, in general, I think personally, I'm not going to be giving Robinhood my money.
Bro,
That's just me.
Nor will I, but you guys do whatever you want. This person's got a good point here. So hilarious seeing these rich dudes pretend to know how regular people feel. That's the point we're at with all of this, right? Because it's happened across the board. Like the creators that were normal people that became famous, they're now just celebrities psychologically, so they're insufferable, right? Even the podcasters that we all watch because we're like, oh, it feels like we're talking to our smart friend, our funny friend, our cool friend, whatever. Now their lifestyle is like so different from their audience. It's impossible to be relatable anymore.
Yeah.
Right. We're at this point of like crazy change that needs to take place. And yeah. And also I'm seeing that they're starting a late night TV show with all the tech people.
Yeah. Was that real or not? I don't know though.
I still don't know.
Yeah.
Because AI is so good. It could be fake.
Yeah.
But they're essentially one guy pitched either it's real or he's trying to say it to get feedback to do it. But they're trying to create this like late night show for the tech industry because they do have a major PR problem of like they're so unrelatable and they're so out of touch. And so I don't know if a show will actually help that or exacerbate that. Like think about it, right? Whenever I hear someone like these guys who are clearly like robots or aliens or reptilians, like when they're trying to sound like a normal person, I feel that, which is like the antithesis of what they're attempting to achieve.
Right.
So
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was a perfect example because Vlad isn't like all that unrelatable. So he definitely like took it to the extreme there with that ad read.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's just reading a script, but that person was probably AI. So maybe you got some more time for your job. But what did you have next for the stories?
So Meta is actually planning a stablecoin comeback in the second half of 2026.
Interesting.
So obviously they had the entire scandal that they had a few years back with the Libra coin that ended up being called something else. What did they call it? They ended up changing the name and trying to change it all up because it was not happening. The government in the United States was not about to let that occur. And so now it looks like they might be building out a stable coin and they're looking to launch it this year. Now, I also, in my research of this, found that this headline technically came out a year ago as well, where last year they were supposed to do that. So I don't know if this one is supposed to be more credible.
Got it.
But yeah, it looks like they're working their way towards launching a stable coin.
Yeah, which is, we all felt like that would come to a reality. And they were one of the first big guys to try to do that. How long ago was that when they tried?
So it was 2019, and they later renamed it to Diem was the name. That's why I forgot.
Diem spelled how?
Diem, yeah.
Interesting.
I think it's obviously sounds Greek, some like Greek god or something. I don't know.
Is there some symbolism in that?
Probably, man. The guy that like was running that project or heading it up, his name was David Marcus or something like that. And he went into Bitcoin after that. He was like so mad. He was like, well, I'm just going to work on Bitcoin then because they can't stop Bitcoin. And he's actually a very interesting executive in the finance space.
Super cool.
Moving on, we had a lawsuit that just got opened up on Jane Street. Okay, now this one is actually very interesting. They're denying the claims, but they've basically been facing claims of an insider trading scandal that sped up Terraform's Luna Terra's 2022 collapse. So they denied the allegations as a desperate and baseless attempt to extract money after this company essentially went bankrupt back in 2022. So,
and what is Jane Street?
So great question. Jane Street is arguably the largest market maker in the world. So essentially, they go into the markets and they use their algorithms to go out and make transactions to allow people who want to buy something to be able to buy it at the price that is agreeable to the market and to sell at prices that are agreeable in the market. Because if there's not someone there who wants to sell at that exact price, a market maker will come in and do that for you, essentially. And Jane Street is one of the biggest ones.
Cool.
Yep. So anyway, so yeah, that's a pretty big deal. because if you're going after Jane Street, I mean, you'd want to have your books in order at the very minimum. They've got a large budget, and I'm pretty sure a pretty talented legal team. So, you know, it's a big thing to make. But I think it's the people that are inside too that also to me is kind of telling for you to be inside of the Terra situation to come after Jane Street, right? That means you probably have some information that would allow you to feel that you're justified in doing that. So there was that one. There was an outage that occurred a few days ago on AWS. And there's some claims that this AWS outage was caused by an AI coding bot blunder. So I don't know all of the details about this, but according to Financial Times, the most recent interruption happened in December, actually, when its Koiro AI coding tool decided to erase the environment it was working on, resulting in a 13-hour disruption. Now, so that was that one. And then there's also this other thing going on with the Open AI lady. And I don't know, is this one real? There was like an Open AI lady downloaded OpenClaw, and then it like deleted files, and they were like, oh, this is great. Like the person who is running like AI safety at Open AI downloaded OpenClaw and had it like deleting files on their computer.
This is the first time hearing of this.
Okay, so that's been something that's been erupting over the internet. I don't know whether or not that one is actually true, and so I can't speak to the veracity of that. And I'm struggling to, okay, so I'll find this tweet and I'll just share it, but understand that I don't know how verified this is. Oh, so it's Meta, excuse me. Meta's head of AI safety and alignment gets her emails nuked by OpenClaw. So be the director of AI safety and alignment at Meta, install OpenClaw, give it unrestricted access to personal emails. It starts nuking emails. Don't do that. It keeps going. Stop. Don't do anything. Gets all the remaining old stuff and nukes it as well. Stop. Whatever. So once again, I don't know the full veracity, but I guess she herself has said nothing humbles you like telling your OpenClaw confirm before acting and watching it speed run, deleting your inbox. I couldn't stop it from my phone. I had to run to my Mac Mini like I was defusing a bomb. So let me see if we can actually find her profile and do that ourselves here, because obviously she's getting heat for this. This has 9 million views, and I guess it's somewhat real, but maybe not as serious as everyone is taking it. I don't know.
She works at Meta?
I guess that's the other thing to verify. It says safety and alignment at Meta, but I mean,
so could that be teeing themselves up to market their better alternative?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well articulated and identified as an opportunity there. So yeah. So that was, I guess, a real headline, but yeah, perfect tee up for here's our OpenClaw. All right. A few things that I wanted to get your reaction to. Ben, this one right here is pretty funny. Hope you're ready. So I saw this. Okay, hear me out from Sohail Kakar. Okay, hear me out. TikTok, but for Polymarket. Doom scroll through the odds of everything happening in the world. See the future in real time.
I don't like it, Keith.
Somebody was like, this wouldn't work because, what did he say? Oh, Hunter, friend of the pod, an actual friend of the pod. He said, nobody wants to doom scroll through charts and read things. They want to be entertained, he said. So Hunter has actually been on the pod. He's a well-respected and successful app developer. I actually think, I might disagree with him. I think this could be extremely entertaining.
They would need some sort of media part of it. Like just simply this experience, I think people would get over in like faster than they got over the Nintendo Wii.
So if you combine this concept with the other concept, which is the 5-minute charts, the 5-minute bets.
Okay.
I mean, then you could spend your whole day on this thing.
Got it. So you create the intrigue through the urgency of it.
Yes. Because then you're just playing a game.
Yeah. That's horrifying.
So saw that and I was like, that's
bro, it's getting out of hand,
wild.
Man. And I think when everyone was like saying, "Oh, people should be allowed to gamble," I think how they got people to sign up for that was because they thought it would be like Vegas where they live. Yeah, I don't think people could realize what it would
That's so
stumble
true.
into.
Yeah, because that also contributes to your local economy. You know, you've got jobs and like things are happening, and it feels like, you know, there's growth and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is just going to grow Meta's data centers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
else.
B Woo says, "Why is the Wii taking strays?" I think the Wii was an innovative console, but it got old really fast. Like I got that thing for Christmas. I wanted it so bad, and I was over it within a week. I just think it was like too early for most experiences. Still a fun party thing, but yeah.
That's funny, man. The Wii. Yeah, it was a cool concept.
It sold a ton of units, but it
Yeah.
didn't do well from software, like the games.
Ah,
So like it was a success because everyone had it in their home, but everyone played Wii Sports and like maybe 2 or 3 other games.
right. Man, that's a fascinating phenomenon. We should probably do a day where we just talk about gaming.
Oh, I could go ham on that for sure.
That's cool. So the next one that I had, this one, Ben, is also directly for you as well. And there's been this rhetoric over the weekend that everyone was talking about how Canada has been slipping, bro. In fact, we should have put that in the news. What really happened with Canada and the US over the weekend. I almost forgot about that. Ben, I'm sorry to break the news to you,
What's
but
up?
the United States had a monstrous, incredible, awesome, fantastic victory against your hockey team over the weekend.
Yes.
Did you watch that?
Parts of it. I really don't care about hockey all that much, to be honest. Like, but we were the better team, and from what I saw, we outplayed them. From what everyone else reported back to me, we outplayed them. But at the end of the day, you guys won.
Yeah, I've never watched a hockey game in my life.
No way.
I'll admit. But that right there is hype right there.
Yeah, Canada, like they're down bad. Like all the people here after losing, because at the point in Canada, like we don't really have much else going on, and so when we lost the one thing we could always hold our hat on, like that's tough. So yeah, people were pretty upset, and I'm seeing a lot of people. So, what's up?
Just the whole thing, man.
It's
Trump,
it's all so silly.
Trump coming out and saying China's going to take away your hockey and like silly stuff like that, and then we pulled out the dub. I remember was it last year that y'all beat us in the same kind of a scenario almost?
It was the
I
different.
guess the last cycle.
Yeah, we did this other thing. Thomas would know. What's that? The Four Nations or some shit like that.
Okay, that's what it was. Yep. And y'all beat us there. And I remember not caring anything about hockey, but feeling very hurt internally when that occurred.
Yeah, and the women won too. By the way, you guys beat us on both.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. That's amazing. Thank you for that, Robbie, and thank you for holding the chat down.
Yes, we appreciate you, RD.
Robbie
Always.
J. Davis, that's awesome. And then, but that was actually all just teeing up something that's a much bigger blow, and it's much more real of a blow, which is that Canada is the second largest country on Earth with unlimited levels of oil, natural gas, hydroelectricity, and minerals relative to their size of their population. And yet Canada is now officially poorer than Alabama. Now, the real data here, because this blew up over the weekend, is about the GDP per capita. Okay, so I don't think that it's actually poorer than the state of Alabama, just the GDP per capita.
It's a great headline, though.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And so there's been some more serious responses to all of this as well as some funny things, but I'll look at, I guess one funnier one first. This lady said, reasons to move to Canada listed are low taxes, cheap groceries, and affordable housing. And then on the charts are none of those things. So I thought that was a pretty good data analytics kind of joke. But moving forward to the serious responses for what's going on in Canada, this lady, Lucy Hargreaves, has said Alabama's unemployment rate is 2.7% and Canada's is 6.5%. Alabama now manufactures nearly as many cars as Ontario. How did one of the poorest states in the U.S. start outcompeting us?
Is that
The Globe,
real?
the unemployment rates.
No, all of this. Like the Alabama thing, making more cars than us, that seems hard for me to believe.
Yeah, I don't know about that part. That's a good question. And this also is like someone who is not like huge or anything.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut off. Go ahead.
No, please verify any veracity of any of this.
Wow. The Globe and Mail says Alabama is now in the top 5, producing 1.2 million vehicles annually, close to the 1.3 million that Ontario churns out.
Okay.
So yeah, that's or at least according to the Globe and Mail, that seems accurate.
Fair. So nearly as many cars as Ontario. How did that happen? The Globe, I guess a news media outlet, went to find out. Alabama spent 30 years treating economic development like a serious strategy, landing investments, making it fast and easy to build, clawing back incentives from companies that didn't deliver. And they say that Canada spent 30 years writing reports about competitiveness and not acting on them. Eli Lilly just put a $6 billion farmer plant in Huntsville, Alabama, and that could have been Montreal. Alabama is no paradise. Life expectancy is 74 versus 82 in Canada. Minimum wage is $7.25 in 2026, ladies and gentlemen.
In Alabama?
Oof.
That's
the South. That's the South for you.
Yeah.
But there's a line in the piece that stuck with her. In 2007, the Harper government commissioned a competitiveness report. The conclusion as to why it's difficult to take the actions needed to be more competitive, Canadians do not perceive that there's an imminent crisis. The author said that you'd get the same answer today. I think they're probably mostly right. And the Globe puts it, if Canadians remain complacent, the rest of the world will eat our lunch. We're in a crisis, folks, an imminent one at that. Time to get seriously aggressive about the changes we need to make. So I actually thought that was super interesting, because I could see how that could happen, where it's like, if their perception is not that you're doing all that bad, then there would be no reason to change anything.
Yeah.
Are you looking to stay out of this conversation as a Canadian citizen?
It's just risky for me here because, like, they've done a very good job convincing the people to self-govern themselves, is what I will say. Like, if you even say, like, can we have a conversation about this? You get attacked and you get labeled all of these things. So one thing I will say is that I do think that all of these problems stem from the housing costs, right? Because how are you going to pay people less when they need to pay $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment, right? So, and everybody in Canada, for the most part, like 80% of the population, I think, lives within an hour of the US border drive. And even that is consolidated to 3 or 4 major cities that have like almost all of our population. So if you were to put any sort of these job places, you'd have to put it in places that are so expensive to live. And I will also say that a lot of our best talent will just leave. And so we do have a ton of immigration, and apparently they've been bringing in people who are highly skilled and highly qualified. But by whose metric, right? Like if I'm the business owner, I get to decide what I want. And Thomas says, not all of us, Ben. No, I know not all of you guys, but like the vocal majority, I would say, is they're very adamant about this. And I even talked to my grandfather about this the other day. Because now that tab exists on Instagram where you can see what people interact with, he's so far down the rabbit hole of all the politics stuff. Like everyone is here. And it's because, like I talked about the numbers thing, right? Where if a certain amount of content has to be Canadian-made content, Canadian creators know that if they talk about Trump or if they're hyperbolic with anything that is really gravitated towards that, they get more views. So in turn, they're going to like sensationalize the crap out of things. A lot of the things that is making my grandfather like probably very upset, a lot of times isn't even real.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's definitely a multi-layered problem. But I think that Canada has so much going for it. Like our people here are very great. Growing up here, I wouldn't have wanted to grow up anywhere else. And we also have a ton of resources and stuff too. But do we have the people that want to take advantage of that? I don't know, especially when you've been pushing this whole narrative for the last like 15, 20 years in Canada about how sustainability was like the whole thing. How do you preach that to people and then convince them to go pull out all these resources?
Right. Yep. Interesting situation. Never thought about the fact that Canada has so much natural resources.
We have a ton. But our real estate speculation game got so crazy here from so much foreign investment, and then people getting really greedy here. And now people are popping up every single day that, especially in Toronto, there's so many condos that got built while people were playing this game of speculation. It's going to keep going up. So people would pre-sale buy with the full intention of selling it because it will have gone up. So they made money for doing nothing.
Gotcha.
And now they're coming where they have to close and the actual market value is substantially lower. So there's no buyers. And so then these people are going on the news being like, I can't believe they're taking my savings. It's like, what are you talking about?
Dang. Yeah,
this is, Thomas, this is incredibly true, right? A lot of Canada's identity is simply just being better than America. That's it. All of our problems, it's like we don't see them. Like we'll walk past a friggin' massive, terrible homeless problem and we'll be like, but at least we're not American. Like, two things can be true. You can think you're better and then also our situation's not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's fascinating to think about. You know, we could all just be homies. You know what I'm saying? I think Trump's rhetoric is hilarious. Or earlier, last year, he was just like, the 51st state, a couple weeks ago, just putting the map of just North America, just America.
That's what makes me think they're all in on it, though. Because he knew in doing that, he was handing the election to Carney. If he didn't do that, there's no world Carney wins.
Wow.
Because the whole marketing was like, this is like, I'm so confident it's all connected because like Maple Mega was getting like Pierre Poilievre was getting all this momentum, right? And people hated Trudeau, and Trudeau was a liberal guy. He needed a gift from whatever source to make it possible for him to win, and Trump handed it to him. So I whenever they talk, whenever they're beefing, I think it's all bullshit. I think I think it's theatrics.
I mean, when you really look at who Carney is, right? We've talked about it before. He's the perfect. It's like when every president has gone to Yale here. He's like that guy. Like he's like the guy who basically went to Yale and therefore was essentially groomed to be like the president or the prime minister of the country. And so, and in this case, I mean, he's been all over the globe in positions of power, which is very, very unique and fascinating.
It's really, he's a fascinating dude, objectively. Like whether you agree with him or disagree with him, he's incredibly intelligent. And he's been in a lot of places.
And very well spoken, right? It's like...
his brain just moves faster than everyone he's talking to.
Yeah.
You can see it, right? Like I literally, when the debates happen, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. So he's got that X factor. So, and like would be an amazing actor as an example. So another thing that came up over this past week, or what was this one? Hold on. It's all coordinated.
Very good point. Like, don't give it the emotional energy because, like we talk about the. Have you ever heard of this conspiracy theory that the aliens are extracting like energy from us? I think they call it luge.
I've heard the idea. Yeah.
The same premise on a micro scale happens with all of these events. You know what I'm saying? Like the energy is what gets the division that then allows them to do whatever they want.
Facts. Another thing that happened here, speaking of energy, was Sam Altman made some statements 3 days ago, and it came out. He was basically comparing intelligence to AI to human intelligence. I'm kind of upset if can you not hear this? Okay, cool.
The things that is always unfair in this comparison is people talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model relative to how much it costs a human to do one inference query. But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to like figure out science and whatever to produce you. And then you took whatever you took. So the fair comparison is if you ask ChatGPT a question, how much energy does it take once its model is trained to answer that question versus a human? And probably AI has already caught up on an energy efficiency basis measured that way.
So AI is more efficient than humanity. And I saw that. I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty interesting way of looking at it, right? Like if it takes that much energy to train a human, if it takes that much to train a human, then how bad is it to think about how much energy it takes for this AI to be able to come up with intelligence? But this guy made a very interesting point. He says, I honestly think the reason we see so much Main Street pushback against AI is because of how the leaders of the largest companies in the space have framed the technology. If they had just said they were building cool tech that helps people be more productive, it would be much more digestible to the everyday crowd who don't keep up with the tech. If you keep describing it as something that is coming for your job or an alternative to humans as a whole, you can easily see why some people might not like it.
Totally fair. I think that's well presented.
So yeah. It's like, well, if we're just going to sum up human intelligence to just, efficiency, then we might be missing some of the point of humanity. And also it's like, well, what is the point of these things? If you were creating these things to make our lives better, then it might be worth valuing our lives over efficiency in the technology itself.
Well, where's it? Because they're saying this is going to take all of our jobs, but none of them have told us how that's not a horrible situation for us. You know what I mean? They're like, you should like this. We're like, why? They're like, you should. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very true. So let me push it to this next piece, which we kind of brought up briefly a second ago. Like, you see the same tweets going out about stuff, and this one is Claude in this instance. This guy said, I was talking about Claude on my timeline because I thought it was sick.
Y'all are getting paid.
But you guys are getting paid? You could just see a bunch of the same tweet going out about design on Claude and how it's now better than Apple level creative directors, which obviously is going to be debatable and probably not really the case. But thought that was interesting, worth pointing out. And then Greg Eisenberg, a future friend of the pod, I'm going to put that out there now. He made a tweet that said, Starter Story gets acquired by HubSpot, a $12 billion company. Not sure for how much, but it doesn't even matter. When you zoom out, it's obvious what's happening. Media is becoming the base layer of software companies as infrastructure, not as marketing. The audience becomes your research lab, your distribution engine, your recruiting funnel, your feedback loop, and your launchpad all at once. In a world where AI compresses product cycles and models improve every few months, code alone stops being the moat. Attention and trust becomes the leverage. The company that controls the narrative controls where demand flows. HubSpot bought proximity to builders. It's kind of like real estate. They bought location, location, location. They bought insight into what founders are thinking before it shows up in product analytics. They bought cultural gravity. I think this pattern spreads. I bet Frontier Labs will want distribution closer to the core, owning the builders who experiment with their models, owning the developers who integrate their SDK, owning the story about what's possible. AI lowers the cost of building. Media lowers the cost of convincing. This trend continues. Media is underpriced.
I think that was a great acquisition. I think that post makes a lot of sense. And as long as they post it, I'll be on Starter Story in the next few weeks. I recorded an episode with them.
Oh, snap. It's done?
Yeah. We recorded it, I want to say 2 weeks ago. So that'll be going live whenever they decide to do it. I didn't know that they were doing the acquisition stuff, obviously, before I agreed. Good for him. That was obviously his goal. And that's kind of been my core thesis for YouTube for a very long time, was that very thing, right? Which is why I focused so much of my business on that. But I'm sure it was a fat check.
Yeah, for sure.
Think about it, dude. They're like, his audience is like purely their customers or who they'd want, especially because the biggest moat right now in all of this is the marketing piece, right? And so if HubSpot gives those tools to help with that, I think it was a no-brainer acquisition. He kind of manifested it too, where maybe like he tweeted saying you should buy me kind of deal, right? And then months later, it actually happened, or a year later, whatever it was.
That's so cool.
Later, Willem. Have a good one. Have a wonderful week. We'll see all y'all. We'll see you Thursday. It's going to be a fire episode, so definitely make sure you come back if you can.
Oh, yeah. Definitely be here Thursday, Willem. So, dude, that's so sick. So, guys, Ben is going to be on Starter Story. If you don't know, then you need to know. Check out those guys over there at Starter Story. They have an incredible show that they do.
They're nice guys. They're cool.
Yeah, man.
I had fun time recording with them. I'm very curious to see how the video turns out because they have full editing freedom, right?
Right.
So I may end up looking like a total asshole.
They might put out a hit piece on Ben, y'all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when it goes live, guys, go in there and show me some love, because the comment sections get shaped by what other people see, right? So like
True.
literally it can go amazing or bad based on the first few comments that are there, because then that shapes the next thought, right?
Absolutely. Couple memes.
Go for it.
What were you going to say?
I was just gonna say, we got asked, have we thought about doing a Discord? Would be dope to connect off stream. Yeah, we thought about a lot of that stuff. We just want to make sure that anything that we add in addition to, we can handle appropriately to not diminish what it could be. So a lot of the roles that we're hiring for, they'll play a role in the expansion of the ecosystem for sure. And we thought about, we're going to launch a Patreon in the not too distant future. And we've been coming up with more and more ways to make that more of a connection thing.
Yep.
And we're used to it, Ben. By me being an
What was he
asshole.
talking about? Oh,
That's awesome.
how would you know that he was saying that? That's funny.
I'm making an assumption. I don't know for sure, but I assume that's a joke. Good one. Boom, roasted. Yeah, we will be adding more and more and more. So go ahead and add to.
Time for the memes, y'all. And this one got to me this morning. I thought it was hilarious. This guy said, "What would you do in this situation?" And homie said, "Sell software stocks." Thought that was a perfect summation of the moment in culture at the moment. Everybody's caught up in the AI doomsday hype. So another one quickly here. Trump last week, when he did a statement on the Supreme Court ruling, he made 2 different truth statements that were pretty long. You know, he tends to do these. And somebody was like, "I ain't reading all that. Happy for you though," or "Sorry that happened." That was pretty good.
That's awesome.
Because ain't no way. So this was awesome. I saw this tweet that said, "Reply with a photo only your fandom would understand." And honestly, this was such a sick thing to see kind of occur, because I went through the quotes and was like, to see, would I understand any of these things? And I didn't. But the reason that I actually found this one was because of this account here, VC's.
That's Andreessen, right?
Yeah. So that is the top of Mark Andreessen's head.
He's a brilliant
VC's
guy.
congratulating themselves is one of my favorite accounts of all time. It's really good. They just make fun of Silicon Valley and some of the crazy statements they say. And Mark Andreessen is definitely one of the main characters.
For sure. He's one of the big names.
So that was really funny. And I was like, I had to see if I would see any of these other ones. And Ben, I wanted to see if you knew any of these other ones. Like,
haven't seen one that I know yet. Oh, I don't know what that is either.
Like, what? And some of these have crazy amounts of likes. You know,
that's
what
why
I mean?
we need a meme person on the team.
Yeah, because like this is insane. And to be fair, I guess these are pretty international as well. But anyway, so thought that was interesting to think
Super
that
cool.
There's all these worlds out there that exist. You know?
So many pockets of culture all over the place.
Yeah. And then this one was just kind of silly. It wasn't super funny or anything. So this guy said the tariffs are no longer available. We only have the debasement left for the high class restaurant goers. And then this one is about the OpenClaw thing going on. Bro, have you tried CloudBot? It's so insane. A little bit, not much. What do you use it for? It's crazy, man. You can do anything with it. And he's like, okay, what are you doing with it? He's like, you got to try it. And it's like, try it for what? Don't get left behind, man. So definitely a summation there as well of what's happening with the AI hype. You know, just this idea of don't get left behind, right? Is the narrative that you have pointed out earlier today as well, right? That's kind of the ethos around it all.
Totally.
Couple more. This one was from Elon Musk himself. People giving OpenClaw root access to their entire life, handing over the AK-47 to the monkey. Essentially here, mass destruction may ensue. And then this one was funny. Naval, we love Naval, but this was pretty good.
He's getting some hate though. Like his haters are growing by the day.
Interesting. Well, this statement makes it possible. He says, if you're unwilling to defend your country in time of war, then you're a tourist, not a citizen. And he got some pretty spicy replies. Ryan said, see you on the front lines, Naval. How Naval felt typing this. And a few other ones that I won't say out loud, but I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a wild statement to say as someone who's like super, super rich.
Yep. Naval, you don't have to participate in that one, my brother. So just and probably past the, I don't know how old he is, but listen, brother, don't be volunteering me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. I don't want to go to war.
Let's see. So this one was just silly. He said, guys will pay $20 a month for an OF, but not for Claude. Buddy, you are subscribing to the wrong model.
He's big in the consumer app world too.
Okay.
Or just consumer product. I think his big thing was the Tabs chocolate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it was like this aphrodisiac chocolate.
So that's his space.
Yeah, it was. He really like modernized the mass like clipping strategy for ecom. So like he got people into a Discord and made them all affiliates, and then essentially because everyone would share their winners, it just increased the chances of everyone making winners. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was like they were absurdly successful with that. I believe he's now exited, and what he's doing now is he's created a software where they will pursue people violating your IP for you.
Okay. I do see that. Yes. Yep. Okay. And for products, that's a pretty big deal. For physical products, he's doing it.
Oh yeah. I'd imagine that's huge.
Yeah. It's a big thing on Amazon and stuff like that. Yeah, that's very smart.
Yeah, super interesting. Going to be an increasingly large issue. But someone said when we went through those memes and we didn't know them, they're like, "Damn, y'all don't know ball." I'm like, "Yeah, we're not deep into that." But yeah, definitely. If we our memes person will hopefully know a lot more of those than we did.
Good healthy relationships. Keith, Ben, and Claude are all you need in life. All right. So with that, the only other thing to cover here is the community time, talking about the last episode. So this one didn't have a ton of comments, but there was a couple of things that I wanted to touch on. Matthew, we appreciate you pulling up, man. He said, LOL, halfway through the podcast and had the urge to type in the chat before the sad realization that I'm watching the replay. Oh, man. He said, big up, guys. Catch you on the next one, hopefully. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Always appreciate you pulling up and taking the time to drop a comment, even though you couldn't join us. That's awesome.
So the live chat should be available on that one. So because I figured people would start asking for it, I've been not trimming the beginning because YouTube now removes the live chat if you do that. It didn't used to work like that. So on our older stuff, it used to keep the live chat, but now it gets rid of it.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
I didn't
super
know
lame.
That. Yeah, that's a big deal. So Prince Andrew was actually stripped of his title, so he's no longer Prince Andrew. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know if it was like before this that happened or during this that happened regarding his arrest. And then this guy made Heliofant made an interesting comment. He said, not going to lie, as a developer who uses AI in my workflow and built software for years without it, Anthropic is clearing the giants in terms of AI. Claude is hands down the GOAT. I've uninstalled anything OpenAI, and Google stuff is all right other than Nano Banana for image gen, which is fantastic. China is dominating in terms of video generation. Random little companies are doing very impressive stuff for like voices and sound effects. I think picking out the winners might be possible. You just need to actually immerse yourself in the ecosystem, probably. Then again, there are future use cases that I can't possibly predict, which can change the landscape dramatically at any moment. And then the issue of the bubble, or not the bubble, of course. So I thought that was an interesting one.
Great comment.
Thanked him for sharing. And so those are the couple of comments that I wanted to respond to there. There was also something that happened with the old prime minister of Norway today. Just, I guess, wanted to touch on it. He was kind of involved with some of the files that came out. And in particular, I think he ended up having a case filed against him for corruption, same way that kind of happened with Andrew. And he is in the hospital right now because he has attempted some form of self-harm. So prayers to him and his family for all of that. And just wanted to point that out as some news that is technically happening in the world. We have leaders or previous leaders of departments of state being involved with these files, and it's causing some issues. On a good note, today's Thursday. No, it's Tuesday. And Thursday, we have an incredible guest coming up. We have on Spotify, we are Memes and Markets, and we are posting on Spotify, if you haven't noticed that. So if you're having to watch the replay, take the time, and even if you haven't watched the replay, if you could do us the hugest favor of coming over here and actually giving us a 5-star rating. I don't even think we've gotten any since the last time. So if you're here
messed up, man,
and you haven't done that, please do us the massive favor of giving us some responses on Spotify. As we mentioned throughout the pod today, we are actually making a couple of additions to our team. If you head over to our Twitter and you would like to excuse the misspelling here, please come down here, and if you're interested in this producer role, head content strategist and producer, click over here on that link, fill out this form, read this as well, please read it, fill out the form and let us know that you're interested in this role. And we will be happy to have a conversation with you if we see anything that might be a fit. We're super excited about that. We'll get the Twitter and research analyst role out today as well. So if you're interested, be sure to give us a touch and give us a shout.
Love it, man. Love it. Great job on all that. And yeah, for Spotify too, we actually have a fun way to incentivize you guys to go over and do that. So Keith and I think this was a suggestion from someone else in the chat. It might have been Thomas. I can't remember who it was exactly, where they said that you guys Keith and Ben should do a combined playlist. And so we're gonna make a Memes and Markets playlist that is a combination of my favorite music, Keith's favorite music, and we're gonna release that, and it'll be public once we get to 100 Spotify reviews. So we're only, what is it, 40 away?
40 away.
41?
40 away, 41.
All right. So that's very doable, guys. If you want to see, I've already been collecting. I've been curating all of my liked songs, putting them in there, So
yes.
We're ready to cook. We're ready to cook. And I also am curious to see, I think it'd be fairly obvious whose is who, but like I would love for, maybe we ask like the Patreon or something, we're like, list, like who's.
Oh, yes.
That'd be super cool. See how many they get right? That'd be super cool. But yeah, that's it. The other job posting, like Keith said, will be live on Twitter for the writer role. So don't feel like you need to, like, just if you want to apply to both, go ahead, go apply to both. But yeah, we appreciate you guys a ton.
Yep. Fantastic. Thank you guys for another incredible time with you. Thanks for participating in the chat, being here live. If you're live, then you're alive. I'll tell you that right now.
It's all going to be Taylor Swift. How did you know, man? How did you know? No, I'm not a big Swiftie, but she does have some bangers. Like, I can't deny that. But it won't be on my list. But one other thing I guess we can probably say, because they're confirmed. Do you want to say who we have on Thursday, or should we leave it a surprise?
Let's do it. I mean, this time,
they posted about it.
Okay, yeah. So if they don't pull up, hey.
Yeah. So on Thursday, we're having Charles Hoskinson on, the founder of Cardano. I believe he's the founder of Midnight, not entirely sure. And so we were supposed to have him on before. He had a scheduling conflict, but this time his Twitter tweeted about him coming on.
Yeah.
So
they gave us some or Angry Crypto a retweet.
Yeah.
At the very minimum. So it's an acknowledgement.
That's more accurate.
Of them coming through. So, and that was cool. Shout out to Angry Crypto. He took a clip from my live stream where I was talking about that and then posted it, and that's how it ended up making its way to Charles. So, or to his Twitter at least.
Yeah. So shout out Angry Crypto. He made the post, pulled from Keith's stream, and then that's what was reposted. So thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank all of y'all for tuning in. We'll be live on Thursday, and we appreciate you guys.
Yep, he said no John McAfee. Yeah, we won't be able to get John McAfee on. I don't think, at least.
Who knows? Things could get crazy, but but yeah, is the angry uncle of the crypto world. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate as of right now. But I think we'll be able to give him a conversation that pulls out like his more like hopefully fun side, and then I'm sure he'll have some angry moments. But I think that's just because he's very passionate about what he's doing.
Yeah, like he's always just really passionate, I would say, more than like angry.
I think that's true. I think people misconstrue that all the time, where they're like, if you're loud or if you're expressive, you're angry.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, why can't I be loud and expressive about shit that I love?
Right. 100%.
You know what I mean? But that's it. All right, guys. Do you have anything else, Keith?
Well, I'm just excited to see your starter story too, man. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I have no clue, man. They literally said in the thing that I signed, they're like, you don't get any choice over the edits.
Fair enough. They do a good job with it. So.
They always do. Yeah, and they don't seem like bad guys, so I don't think they'll make me look too bad. But yeah, it's it was fun. It was like an hour of recording. Video probably like 15 minutes.
Wow. Very cool.
Cool.
All
Well,
right,
thanks,
folks.
guys. We'll see all of y'all on Thursday. Have an amazing week. Be the light that you want to see. And we will see all of you on Thursday.
Stay curious.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Hey, you made it to the end of the clip. That means you're probably enjoying this. And if so, just know that you can catch us live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. Otherwise, YouTube thinks that you will enjoy this next.